Welcome to this look at new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. These are mods for Tuesday the 15th of December. This is my third or fourth time of trying to record this video. One of these mods, but potentially one that's not here now, has been causing me game crashes. I've been getting partway through recording and I've been losing everything every single time. So I kind of went away, came back, and I'm having another go. We have got some updates, but we've got three, but weirdly, I think two of them aren't showing as updates in the mod hub. They are on the website, but not on the mod hub. It's that usual peculiarities, but I'll show them anyway. The updates are as follows. So on the left, the Bucks County PA by TNT Modding has had an update. Part of that is precision farming, a few other things here and there. The ITS Winter Pack by ITS and the Liquid Manure Storage by Matthew FS are showing on the website under PS4 Xbox One as updates, but in the actual game mod hub they're not showing at all as updates. So it could be they had updates on PC and they've just pinged over onto the PS4 Xbox One, maybe. But I know for a fact Bucks County has. Those are the updates for today. Okay, now as of yesterday, there was a Class Quantum 3800K by Whiteball Modding. That has now disappeared off the mod hub. Now I'm wondering if that might have been causing me the issue. If it was, great. We'll see how we get on with this. But this one popped up after the mods. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, this is the Mammut Roundbale fork. This is by Agrartechnik Nordeifel. 2.48 megabytes to download. 3 slots on console. This is... well, you can mount it front or rear 3-point link. Generally speaking, they're done on the rear. And this is one of the ones that you can open and close or widen and narrow to suit the bale. We'll have a look at it in just a second. In operation, you'll find this under baling technology. 1,820 to buy. And like I say, 3 slots. There are no options. It's in the Mammut yellow. Like so. Let's hop in. Actually, probably don't need to start the engine. L1 and right stick up and down. I can manually raise or lower. L1 and right stick side to side gives me manual operation for tilt, but I can automatically raise and lower by L1 and circle, just as a regular up and down motion, like so. And then what we can do, I'm going to open my help menu. If I go L1 and R1 and right stick side to side, we get the motion. So when you drop it right down, now the problem I've got is that is not on the floor completely. So what you probably have to do is a bit of manual adjustment to slide it under the bale. It's going to depend on the vehicle. Certain 3-point links will go a little bit lower, but I can't. Oh, hang on. Yeah, that doesn't want to go anywhere lower than that, really. Maybe about there. And what you would normally do is widen it out to get under the bale, then close it and lift it, and then the bale sits on there very nicely. And then when you get where you're going, do the reverse of that, open it out, and you would drive forward and get out of the way, like so. Nicely made, works well, animation's good. That's the Mammut round bale fork by Agrartechnik Nordeifel. Moving on from there, we have got this. Just bear with me on this, there's a lot going on. This is the Lizard 3500 TDS 3,500 gallon tanker slurry spreader by 4D Modding. As with pretty much all mods from 4D Modding, incredibly detailed. This has got an absolute ton of options available. As you can see, what's going on here, and this is one I've picked with a whole load of the options. We're going to have a look at some of the different ones available. I think on one of the configuration settings there are 36 different configurations just under one of the tabs, so there's quite a lot going on here. But as you can see, I mean, wow. It's got some great animations too. But let's have a look at install first. This you'll find under tools and slurry tanks, right on the very end. 19,500 for the base model, 150 horsepower required. This is 28.43 megabytes download, 23 slots on console for the first one. And as you'll see, options wise, it goes a bit mad. We can change the rim colour to anything on that palette. We do have some options of mattes, chromes, candies and metallics in a load of different colours. Then as we come down, we get into the more standard colours. There's a whole load, let's say, a whole load of options there for your rim colour. That's a metallic-y chrome. Main colour, we can change the main colour of the tank, like so. Then design colour, I'm going to leave it on blue, but if you change the design colour, that changes the pipe colour. So any pipes you get on here, it changes the pipe colour. We've got options for Lizard, Michelin, Trelleborg, and Nokian. Nokians, there are no options other than what you get. But with Lizards, we've got a few options. I'm not going to read them all out because there's loads of different numbers, but we'll go through the various different treads. I think that's back to where we started. Yep. Under Michelin, we've got that. Like so. And then the Trelleborg, we've got these. Like so. Now we're going to design. I'm going to swing up and kind of, it's difficult to get a good angle on this because it is a bit mad. Right. We've got standard. Configuration 1 puts the pipe on the side. Configuration, well, that's 2, then 3. Now, that puts the pipe the other side. Like I say, there are 36 different options here. I'm going to go up to there and we'll scroll through. It puts frames on, takes pipes on, puts double pipes one side, double pipes the other. It puts a cover for opening and closing on the top. We have a ladder at one point. We have a front pipe nozzle and various different combinations of all of them. Different connectors. Some of them incredibly subtle, and you go through a couple of options and don't notice a difference. $36 and back to standard again. So as you can see, quite a lot to be looking at. Registration plate. With 4D modding mods, generally speaking, we get the no registration plate, or we get that selection of, and you've got loads of Irish ones. And as I keep going through, we will then move on to, I think we've got Australian, New South Wales, we've got American state ones, we've got 2 or 3 for the UK, England, we've got Scottish, we've got Northern Ireland. Loads. There's going to be something for everyone. I think we've got a South African one as well. British Columbia, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, let's say Belgium, and it goes through. So you can pick a number plate. That thing does not want to stay still. Or have no number plate if you should desire. Then we move on to spreader system. Now we have on the back the splash plate. That will spread out to 12.8 meters. It's got an angled splash plate which is supposed to force the slurry down and supposed to stop smells going too far out and about and spreading stuff all over the place. We've then got this one, the Mastec dribble bar. Now it doesn't actually put a bar on. I'm not quite sure what the Mastec dribble bar is because I haven't. There's not a separate attachment that goes with this. That just comes like that, and you'll see when we try this out that it still spreads. It's a bit of a peculiar one. I don't know if it needs an update. Potentially, we'll see. We've then got the rain gun, like the old airport fire hose type thing. So we've got the rain gun on the top. We've then got a boom tanker. We've got injector attacher, so you can put the various different dribble bars and injectors and cultivator injectors and things on the back. We've then got a transport tanker 2, transport tanker 3, and back to splash plate. Combine that with the 36 different options we've got up on design, and there's just a plethora of stuff to be looking at. What I'm going to do is hook up. Now when I hook up, you'll notice at the front there's a little stump with an attacher. The animation for that takes the stump away and the attacher gets hooked up underneath. Nice animation. Like so. Now this one I've tried to go for as many different configurations as I can. The one it hasn't got is the rain gun. Because I've got the boom tanker, it won't allow me to have the rain gun and the boom tanker, but I've got one over there that does. But this should be able to demonstrate most of the functions. So if I open up my menu, now fold slurry tanker moves the pipe and attaches it. So if I do L1 and fold slurry tanker, the pipe comes off, so you can go in for that more kind of in-depth immersive. Now I don't know if this works with the manure system. It might do on PC, but if you're next to a slurry pit or a slurry tank, you can go for that more simulated. You're actually connecting up and taking stuff out. But be warned with that one. If I disconnect that and jump out, the animations are amazing. If you go for a configuration that doesn't have that whole nozzle system there, but you have the pipe, you can still fold or unfold. It will still move into place, but then you'll have a gap between the pipe and the tanker if you don't have a configuration with that nozzle. It may not bother you, but just in case that's something that would concern you, just a word of warning. Now what we'll do then, we've got bottom left on the help menu, we've got control group. So at the moment we're on control group pipe. So on pipe, if I do R1 and then up and down on my right stick, that pipe at the front goes up and down again for a bit more immersion, but that's only if you have that pipe on the configurations. If you've got a configuration that doesn't have that pipe, it will still come up on the menu, but there'll be nothing to actually move. If I change that by pressing triangle now to control group crane, that will now do the boom. So I can move the boom up, down, left, right if I'm on control group crane. Now this will operate as a slurry spreader and a tanker. So what I can do, if I put alongside this one, which is empty, I think this one's empty, it will come up saying I can overload. So I can start overloading. What I can also do, if I wanted to be a bit more, let's say, a bit more immersion, I can put that over. Now I don't need to put this over, I've opened the cover on that one as well. So I could kind of put it like that, so I can simulate that I'm sort of putting the stuff over, if I wanted to. If I back up a bit again so we don't come up, so R1 and triangle. So I'm now transferring the slurry over from one tanker to the other. Like I say, the boom isn't necessarily needed, but it's there should I want to do it. I'm going to move that out of the way now. We'll stop doing it. If I move on to control group 3, if I press the triangle again, that's support arm. Now I think the support arm is for the rain gun. Now obviously on this configuration I don't have the rain gun, but the options are still there for it. What I also have, let's just switch back to crane and move out of the way. On the top, L1 and left on the D-pad opens the cover. So if you want to do that, you can. But to fill it up from a source, you don't have to have the cover open. It's there as an animation, should you wish to do so. Now, having it in this configuration as a boom tanker, it will still spread. And I think it just jets out of the nozzle at the back, as far as I can tell. So what I'm going to do is hire a worker. As you can see, we are spreading out of the back. I assume that's out to 12.8 meters, as the regular one does. Now what I'm going to do is switch over then, and we're going to go to the splash plate version, just to look at the different options of spreaders. And there's a couple of a potential problem that we're going to come across, assuming it's still doing it. So this one is the splash plate. Again, hire a worker, and that will spread exactly the same, but you actually get the animation off the splash plate, whereas with the boom tank you didn't. But the spread width is exactly the same. So that's with the splash plate. Sorry if I'm not trying to rattle through this, but I'm aware there's so many configurations and options on this. We need to try and do it as best we can. This is the Mastec dribble bar, and it's a bit of an odd one, because when I hire a worker, it spreads out in front of me. Now that's what I would expect the rain gun to do. It's not spreading behind. Now I've had a look by pressing L1, R1. I can't figure out. If I switch to support arm, let's swing this. Like I say, I haven't got a rain gun on the top. I'm wondering if the two of these are switched round by mistake. See if that makes any difference. So I'm thinking this one, the dribble bar, has got the rain gun option. Like I say, it's very peculiar now. Yeah, it's spreading all over there. See over there? So I think this one, the Mastec dribble bar, has got the rain gun function. This may well need an update. When I tested this yesterday, that's exactly what it did, and I couldn't figure out for the life of me why. But then in between times, it suddenly dawned on me, I think that's what was happening. Now this one has got the rain gun. And if I switch to that option, support arm, you'll notice now I can actually move that. I can raise it up, I can bring it down, and I can go side to side. Now if I raise it up, it jets off, and I say you can't see it. That's because it's not working on this one, because if I hire a worker on this one now, the rain gun doesn't work. It comes out the back, just the same as the other ones do. So, whilst we do have all these different functions, all these different options, all these different configurations, I think the splash plate's working okay, but I think the other ones seem to be a bit mixed up. The boom spreader seems to be working like a splash plate or dribble bar. The Mastec dribble bar is working like the rain gun, and the rain gun's working like I'm not too sure. But anyway, nicely detailed mod, looks great, may need an update. But there you go. That's the Lizard 3500 TDS 3,500 gallon tanker by 4D Modding. Farm dog loves it. So, on to another mod by 4D Modding today. Now, I was worried this was what was causing me problems yesterday. Fingers crossed it's not. And it's the new Holland D1000 Baler. Incredibly detailed. Very nice mod. One thing I will say that it doesn't say in the mod hub, it should really say required mod with this one. As I said, very nicely detailed. But it does this, which is rather cool. We can open the sides up and we can fill it up using bale twine and using molasses and using water. That uses the add-on straw harvest pallets, because without the add-on straw harvest, you don't have the twine, you don't have the molasses to be able to fill this up. So technically, that should be a required mod, theoretically. So that's what you can do. You can fill these up with all those different bits and off you go. Now this one I think is the D800, that one's a D1000. I'll be honest, I haven't been able to find a difference so far. But in testing this now, I'm going to test something. I've got a bale out of the D800. We'll get a bale out of the D1000 and we'll see if there's a difference. Because again, this is by 4D modding. 33.75 megabytes download. The baler itself is 20 slots. But there may be an issue. Again, well, we'll see. You know, but it is very, very nicely detailed. Loads of options and nice animations when you unfold all the chains where they should be. The fact the cover's all open and that kind of thing. It's very cool indeed. So, you'll find this under baling technology. 95 horsepower required. It does say there 3,916 litres. Now I assumed that was the bale size, but I'm not sure now, because I'm just trying to think of most other balers. Yeah, it tells you the 4,000 litres. So I assumed that was what the bale size was, 3,916. It does say on the options there that it requires twine, molasses and water. It will run at 9 miles per hour. Options available, we can change the rim colour to anything on there. So we've got a New Holland red, a white matte, silver, stainless, and then we've got a red matte and a yellow matte. Main colour changes the bottom section. So we've got a few different yellows, then we've got New Holland red, so the bottom section all changes. And then we've got a red matte and, you know, and a black, if you want to go for the black, like so. Then the design colour changes the top section, like so. So that's the colour options. Now as far as wheel brand goes, we've got Lizard, we've got Michelin, we've got Trelleborg, and back again. Under Lizard, again, I'm not going to read them all out, but we have some different treads. So we've got road, that one, back to road again. Under Michelin, we've got balloons, then that one, that one, that one, that one, back to balloons. Under Trelleborg, we've just got a twin radial, no other options, and then we're back to lizards again. Now, as options, we've got the standard D800Y Baler. We've then got it with an extinguisher, which puts one at the front there. Then if I swing round, we go to the next one. It says +2 extinguisher. It puts one there, but takes the other one off the front. So it's one at the front or one there, or we can have it with both. Now we go onto the D100Y standard again, but that changes the decal colour from red to yellow. That's the only difference I could notice or see, and we go through the same options with extinguisher. Then we move on to the D1000 Baler. Same options again. We've got one extinguisher, second extinguisher, both extinguishers. Then we change decal again. Same thing. We go through one, the other, or both extinguishers, and then back to the D800. Now, other than that, I can't tell. I can't see any other difference between the two balers, but we'll see in a second. Now we've got registration plate on the back. No registration. And as I just did with the previous one with the slurry spreader, we've got a whole load of number plate options should you wish to choose. Have a scroll through, there may be something you want. And then we've got this option. So, twine molasses manual refill. What that means is that when it runs out, you have to manually refill it. In all of these options, the first time you fill it up, you have to do it. It's what happens after that, as far as I can tell. Because if I switch it then, it goes to fill twine automatically. That was an option I went for. I thought, oh, brilliant, I won't have to worry. You still have to open it. You still have to put in your bale twine, your molasses and your water. But again, this is probably an assumption on my part, but it kind of makes sense that then when it runs out, it will refill automatically. It may charge you for that potentially, but then we've got this option. It puts the tank on the top and charges an extra 10 grand. So that with that one, I'm thinking, maybe it's a larger capacity. It will also refill automatically. Maybe it will go further without needing a refill. And then we've got a 5000 version which fills twine automatically. So those are the options on the baler. Now, as I said, 3,916 litres. That bale there is 2,800, not 3,916. So I'm a bit puzzled. This is the D800 and I filled it already. That's the one I just used to make that bale. So that did a 2,800 litre bale. That has got filled up 750 litres of water, 350 I think of molasses and 16 bales of twine. So I'm wondering whether or not going with this one with the tank on the top and the D1000, will the capacities be more and will this make a larger bale? We shall see, because what we're going to do now is hook it up. Now we open it up like so to prepare for operation. I've then got the option to open cover. L1 and left on the D-pad opens that cover on the top there. Then L1 and up on the D-pad opens the bale net door. It does the left one first, then it will do the right one. As you can see, this one is empty at the moment. It should open that one too. So what I'm going to do is swing around. I want to be on this side for putting molasses in, because the tubes are this side, and even with the one that doesn't have the tank and the tubes, you want it to be this side to fill in molasses. But what we'll do is go up alongside the bale twine first, refill baler, L3, in goes my twine. So I've had to do that on both, whether it said manual refill or auto refill. The first time I've had to do this. Now it should, yep, so now my molasses is going in too. Not close enough to that pallet. There we go. Take that one as well. It looks like it's the same capacity then, 350 litres of molasses, 16 bales of twine. I've got a little standpipe over here for my water. I'll come alongside that. Now that's interesting, that's not giving me an option there. Ah, it's round the other way. There we go. Now put our water, 750 litres. Yep, so the capacity is the same. Let's close these covers. Close the door, close cover. So what I'm seeing now is the bale size the same? Because it seems to me that everything else is the same. Let's turn it on. let's drop it down. And let's see what we get at the back bale wise. Looks like it's going to be about the same. Yeah. Right, turn it off, lift it up. So I don't know where that 3,916 litre number has come from. So what we'll do is drop that off. It's a nice baler, works well, animations are great. I like the fact you have to kind of load it up and why is that not coming off the bag? Oh, that's interesting. There we go. And let's stop that there. What I'm going to do now is grab my little front loader. I think it's exactly the same size. So whether you go for the D800 or the D1000, bale size is the same, capacities, what it requires to fill up is the same. Like I say, the only difference I can see between the manual loading and the auto loading will be when it runs out. Yeah, 2,800. So, yeah. Like I say, it's a nice baler, does what it should do. It will give you 2,800 litre bales. It will bale grass, hay or straw. And that's what the bales look like when they come out. Very nice indeed. There you go, the new Holland D1000 baler by 4D Modding. Moving on from there, we have got these. These are the Lizard, the Lizard LK series Brazil. These are 21.01 megabytes download, 17 slots, if I want to get this the right way around, I think it was 17 for the triple axle and 18 slots for the double. Only one slot between them. This is by Borges Seabel 3D. Not bad looking lorries as well. Brazilian. Some nice options. That one's the Task Force 141. That's the 141 V8. The larger of the horsepower is 375, I think that one is. With a few different options. I went for different options on each one just so we could have a look at them. That one's got a slightly different lower chin. That one's got, let's say, slightly different. And it doesn't have the side bars on there. Off the bumper. That one's a 111, and that is, what was the horsepower on that? 275 or 2? We'll see. Anyway, it'll be in the description in a minute. We do have a few options on this one too with regard to hubs and wheels, rims, that kind of stuff. That one I think I just went for steel ones, as you can see. That one's got a nice fancy one at the front, but fairly standard on the back, and there are a whole load of options. But like I say, we have got the triple axle or a double axle just here. These you will find under vehicles, under trucks, really cheap too. So the LKS 26 grand, that's the triple axle, and then the LK is 21,000 for the base model. 17 slots, 18 slots. We can change the rim colour to anything on that palette. At the top we do have a silver metallic, black chrome, chrome. Then we go through the regular palette. I think I went for silver metallic. That's what it comes like standard. Main colour, we've got a whole lot of options on here. The only thing I will say with this is be cautious in that there are some really nice colour options. The main colours are great. And then when we go to design colour, the design colours don't all match up with the main colours. So the one I went for the main colour isn't available for mudguards. So I can't match up my mudguards for some of the some of the more exotic. Let's go for exotic. Some of the more exotic colours. So for that one, maybe I'll go for just onyx on the back. But if I wanted to, I could just go main colour and go for a standard one at the top, say the yellow. Then design colour, the standard one is there at the top. Yellow, and I can match my mudguards with my cab. Then we've got design, standard. Now this is for the front bumper. Standard. We've got those two side, I'm not sure what they are. They're not lights. Is that so you can see where the sides are? I'm not too sure. Not being a lorry driver, I'm not too sure. Then we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and back again. 19 options on the bumper. Then we've got, let's zoom out a bit, standard on design. Mud flaps on the back, so we've got standard mud flaps or one that runs right the way across. That's for design. Then wheel setup, we've got standard, and there are a load on this as well. Hubcap 1. And then so the front hubcap will stay the same, and the back ones we go through a whole selection. Then the front one changes again, and we go through a whole load on the back. The front one changes again, load on the back. Front one changes, load on the back. And again. And again. And then we're onto the iron wheels. So that's what I went for on the first one, I think. So iron wheel, and then we got a load of options for the iron wheel too. I think up to 9 as well. So there are a ton of wheel options. 10, and then back to standard again. Then engine setup, we've got the 111 at 296 horsepower, the 140 at 350 horsepower, and the 141 at 375 horsepower. Those are the options. So let's jump in. There are no options to open and close doors. You get what you get. Horn. Lights. And off again. There's no beacon on this. Reverse warning. Now, as far as I could tell, the 141 V8 didn't have a different engine sound, but I could be imagining things. I don't think it did. Nice bit of cab movement there, under acceleration and braking. In cab, fairly sparse, but it's an older vehicle. One thing I will say, the wing mirrors aren't great. The left-hand one points backwards and up, so you can see a lot of the sky, but you can't actually see anything you're reversing towards. And that one actually points towards the side of the cab, so you actually can't see anything with that one either. It's a minor thing, but it's there. Let's hop out of that one. Pretty sure it doesn't sound any different. So there we go. That's the Lizard LK Series Brazil by Kohler, Borges and Seabell 3D, or could be Seabell 3D. Really cheap and not too bad at all. Which brings me on to the last of the fruity mods for today. And they have been a little bit fruity, some of them, haven't they? And it's this. This is the Placeable Fruit Trees pack. This is by MechMods. We've had fruit trees and fruit tree placeables before, but this is a slightly larger selection. 3.77 megabytes to download. Oh, did I say what the lorries were? 21.01 megabytes. I think I might have done. Yeah, 3.77 megabytes download. 4 slots for the first one of each. We have got here an option of an apple tree. We have a pear tree. We have a citrus tree, which I think is orange as far as I can tell. Could be lemon, but it looks like orange. And we've got peach tree as well. Various different prices, and these pay out per hour, and they pay out different amounts per hour, depending on the one you go for. The apple tree is the cheapest, I think. I know people always complain, oh, they're two-dimensional, there should be 3D apples and pears and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's a nice addition to have into the game. Now, as with ones we've had in the past, they have to have water to make money. Once you put water with them, the fruit will appear on the tree. So, the apple tree will pay out per hour on easy 60 per hour, normal 40, hard 20. The pear tree will pay out 70 on easy, 50 on normal, 30 on hard. The citrus tree will pay out 80 on normal, 80 on easy, 60 on normal, 40 on hard. And the peach tree will pay out 90 on easy, 70 on normal, and 50 on hard. So that's one's the more expensive one and makes you more money. But as with ones we've had like this before, you can then add manure around it as well. If you add manure, it doubles all of those values. So you will make money if you just have water, but if you add manure, it will double that value. But be warned, if the water runs out, even if you've got manure there, you won't make anything. All the manure does is double the amount, but it has to have water to make money. These you will find under Placeables, under Miscellaneous. The apple tree is 5,000. As you can see, the slot count drops down to 1, so 4 slots for the first one of each, and then it drops right down. 5 grand for an apple tree, 6,500 for a pear tree, citrus tree 9,000, peach tree 10,000. So, in all honesty though, for the price of 1 peach tree, you can get 2 apple trees. 1 peach tree will pay out 90, 70 and 50. The apple tree will pay out 60, 40 and 20. So if you buy 2 of those for the price of 1 of those, that then will pay out 120. I suppose it's just having the variety, isn't it? But you might be better off going for loads of apple trees. It's up to you what you want to do. It really is. But just to show you, I mean, it's fairly straightforward. Once you get up to them with whatever tanker, trailer, whatever you're using, the trigger will come up. So at the moment, there's nothing on the tree. It is sparse and bare. If I put water on, R1 and triangle, once I'm in the trigger, as you can see, the fruit has come on the tree. I think I went for peach on that one. Holds 1,000 litres of water. And then if I jump into my manure trailer, R1 and triangle, puts manure around the base, which will double the amount I get. And it's that simple to care for your fruit trees once they're placed. Very nice indeed. So there we go. That's all there was to that one actually. That's the Placeable Fruit Trees pack by MechMods. I have successfully got through this mod review without it crashing or anything going wrong. So potentially it was that other mod. It could have been the class Quantum that was causing the problem maybe. Anyway, that's it for the mods for Tuesday the 15th of December. Later on today, potentially we're going to get mods for today the 16th. And I will endeavour to get that mod review done as well. I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.